forgot I don't have nails today. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Point of View. Before we get into today's hot topics, let's give a warm welcome back to our guest co-host for today, Krista Williams. Hey. Welcome back, girl.
Thank you.
We always love to have you, so thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Coming up on today's show, Tina Knowles opens up about the pain, those rumors that Beyonce faked her pregnancy, revealing she wanted to go off after watching her daughter go through miscarriages. Plus, Chris Brown is back in the headlines. This time, he's facing yet another lawsuit. I don't know if they plan to leave this man with any money. And later in Girlfriend's Guide, we're getting into the #1 topic all over social media, age gap dating. So come on in, join the discussion. You're watching POV. Tina Knowles is speaking out finally, and she's not holding back. She recently shared how painful it was to watch the world accuse Beyonce of faking her pregnancy with Blue Ivy back in 2011. You might remember that viral clip people ran wild with. I was one of the people, it's me, claiming her baby bump folded during an interview, but there was never any proof, so they say. What most people didn't know was that Beyonce had suffered multiple miscarriages before that, and for Tina, seeing her daughter go through that grief while being picked apart publicly was heartbreaking. I get it. What do y'all think? How do y'all feel about it?
It's really hard for us, like, not to believe that there was something in the dress that deflated. There was something there, you know, because she walked in and she had this perfect little, can we roll it again? She had this perfect little, you know, like she had this perfect little bump, and then look, like what happened?
Right.
What happened? Like, look at the bump, and then it just falls.
I've
like,
never been pregnant, but I don't know if it happened. Does that happen? You know, Tanya.
Yes.
Okay, so
That does happen like
oh,
that.
the belly just deflates?
Well, the
the
if
dress
it's a
had a lot of
maternity
extra
dress.
fat. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And,
Oh, so there's a bump built in the dress?
no, there's
No.
not a bump built in the dress.
And the bump deflated?
No.
I don't understand.
Listen, you don't want to understand because you already made your mind up. And let me tell you, since 2011, my mind was also made up until we were going through this the last couple of days, just
Okay.
kind of rewatching it. And for the first time, I don't know if it's because I'm in the spiritual awakening, God has taken the blinders off my eyes, why I actually saw it for something different this time. And so
What you
even though
see, girl?
I'm not an amazing Beyonce fan,
Uh-huh.
I do want to apologize at this point
What'd you
for,
see?
for
What did you
saying
see?
that the belly deflated, because I really didn't consider the fabric of the dress. And if you look at
Right.
it was like a really flimsy light fabric, and you could tell that when she sat down, for instance, a short dress, it kind of filled up with air, and the air kind of puffed out. That's what happened. Look
Oh, you
And
is
also, you
selling
gotta
it,
think
girl.
about-
You
No,
is
No, but if she was
selling
wearing the
it.
dress, let's say she was wearing this dress for at least an hour.
Look at
You
the
guys
dress.
know that there's a type of fabric that it is going to literally take the shape of whatever it is. And then when you move, it is now stuck that shape. So she probably leaned in and sat down. And as a mom of 4, this is normal.
Baby, y'all is selling.
This is normal.
I
don't know, Judy, right?
No,
It can happen.
Listen,
I'm
can
with
we
you,
roll that
Judy.
back
I
one
don't
more
know.
time? I
One
need
more
y'all
time.
to look at it with a different
can
perspective.
happen.
One more time. Let's
I'm looking at the
No,
walk-in.
that is clearly
Come on,
a
look,
belly.
look.
There's no way that even if it was a
at the
pillow,
walk-in.
it is
Look at the
not
walk-in.
gonna
No. Okay,
deflate.
what I want you guys to
She
notice
pushed it
here.
down.
No, what I want you guys to notice here
You
is
see the
that
zoom in?
the dress was moving
Yes.
before she came in. The material was already moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it clearly has some air in it.
Junie, hon, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm not quite sure.
You know what?
But see,
because
you have
like,
okay.
I
and I say
feel
this,
like
I say this the
children,
nice way.
so
You
I don't
have
know.
to experience it.
I've
Okay.
never
To
had
know
kids,
that this
but I've been
happened.
around
I haven't
That's
been in pregnancy.
parents.
I haven't had a dress deflate yet.
Okay, so
I haven't.
make it make sense. Make it make sense.
But no, I
that.
also never wore a dress that fabric. I don't know if that's chiffon. I don't know if it's silk. I don't know
Now, we
what
know
that is.
Beyonce to barely ever
doesn't
have
look
on
like
clothes.
chiffon.
So I don't understand why she decided to wear this pregnancy dress and then have this situation happen.
I don't think she planned this situation.
How do y'all explain the picture though? How do you explain that when she got there, she pushed the dress down because she covered, so she can make sure she's covering herself, her goodie parts, right?
Right.
And then as she bent down, it said squash.
And it was just there. There was
didn't sink
no
in.
fixing it. Then
I
she was
said it was
already
just
in
the
it.
fabric
It went like
out.
this.
No,
The fabric went out.
I
She
think the
went
reason
in.
why you're seeing the is because your mind already told you before that's what you saw. But now looking at it, honestly, I feel like her pushing the dress down allowed that air to kind of like gather. That's what happened.
So then where was the
Right.
stomach? Then where was the baby?
The stomach was
'cause when
behind
you
the
sit down,
fabric.
Your stomach in. You go in.
I'm sorry,
to sit
But a
honey.
down.
belly
That
is pretty
dress
tight
was
when
not
it's
that thick.
When it's pregnant, it's pretty tight.
Not all the time. She was very early on.
Oh,
at
it's
this
really.
point.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
early? Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
So she was showing when she I just want to clear this up for our friends
Yes,
at
please
home.
clear it up,
So when
Julie.
she walked
Add
into
it.
this interview, she was showing, and then when she sat down, it just
She was.
She was no longer
still
showing.
showing. It's just excess fabric.
You know
Okay.
what?
Honestly,
I know.
and what
Okay.
what I do hate in this situation,
I
and
don't
this is why
wanna
I thank God that at
say
this
this
point in
about her.
life, we truly aren't celebrities as much as we like to think we are, and maybe we will
She's
be
still
one
a
day. I don't
person.
want to, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So
And
I
that's
hate
okay.
that like
There's
they have to
scrutiny,
go
honey.
through this type of scrutiny.
Oh, my gosh,
literally, because
yeah.
I mean the things that have happened to me during pregnancy. I mean, I couldn't go anywhere, not to the red light, without an extra pair of panties. And imagine if somebody saw that.
Well, Tally, I'm not gonna lie to you, friend. I would have talked about your belly if it deflated. But I would have asked you. I would have said, friend, what happened there? Because you went on that interview and that belly wasn't bellying. So what happened?
But you know, I think it's only because she's a celebrity. Because would we really care if it was anybody else?
Well, we
I
wouldn't
care if my
Exactly.
friend lied to me about a pregnancy.
We
Okay,
wouldn't
but
say
if,
it.
it was,
I think she lied,
if it was your friend and this happened
I
to
would
her,
care.
like how Tina Knowles did, how would you feel after?
Knowing that
would you
she's
come to
really
her defense
pregnant.
publicly?
If my friend
I
was
would
really
come to my
pregnant, or my
friend's
daughter was really
defense.
pregnant, and she was, a celebrity or whatever the situation is, and she was publicly being attacked, absolutely, I would run to her defense.
Sure.
I would be in every single person's DM. You shut up! You don't know what you're
That's
talking
right.
about. My thumbs would be bleeding. How
That's
bad I
my
would be
baby.
going. Okay, how hard I would be going for somebody that I love and care about. So I understand where
But
Tina
that's-
Knowles is coming from. I'm not trying to be ignorant to how she feels about the situation. Also, we can't deny the facts.
Thank you. I still saw what I saw.
Okay.
Now that's how that go.
Well, what they say believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So you still saw wrong anyway. Moving on to the next
That's a
story.
lot. It's a lot.
Chris
I like
Brown.
that saying, so I'm with you when you're right.
Hey, yeah, okay, I'm gonna say one for the ones in the back, okay? But anyways, Chris Brown is in the headlines once again. A woman is suing him for defamation, claiming that he publicly humiliated her online after she was allegedly kicked out of his after party just last year. According to the lawsuit, Chris posted her phone number and accused her of scamming him, which allegedly led to harassment and emotional distress. Now she's taking him to court demanding $18 million in damages. What started as a fan interaction now has turned into a full-blown courtroom situation.
Let me tell you something. I've been to so many celebrity events and celebrity parties, after hours, whatever you may call it. But when situations like this happen, it is so crazy to me because at one point you was a big fan of this person, right?
right.
And you wanted to be in the room.
All the
You
niggas
got in
in.
the room. You probably did the most while you were in the room. And
Yeah.
you said, you know what? You're doing too much. You probably got a little bit too tipsy. You probably took something you probably shouldn't have taken. And then you started doing the most. And he was like, no, you got to go. So then when security escorted you out, now you feel like you've been disrespected.
I feel like she is a cuckoo.
Oh,
Call
we
it
saw
what
the
it
video.
is.
We saw the video. yeah.
She clearly does. She is off
Girl,
her
the
rocker.
picture
She
did it for
clearly
me.
has
Where
not
is her
something-
teeth?
Something is missing.
Listen, baby,
Delusions.
she is literally living in delusion because
And
her
her name-
Instagram name.
It's Chris Brown's
on.
wife. First of all,
Okay.
you need to delete the 777, baby, because ain't nothing lucky about that. But the Chris Brown's wife is really
Right, telling.
crazy.
She might get lucky with this 18 million now.
She's obsessed.
Well,
no,
leave
it's
it to her.
giving, it's
Didn't she
giving
say
obsessed.
His song was she could tell that he was talking to her.
Yeah.
Baby, it's giving Bodyguard Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
with the powder dude.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that guy is giving real cuckoo
Oh, my
bird right
goodness.
now.
Yeah, no.
Do
Yeah,
we feel
she
like
really
Chris
went
has
in.
brought some of this on himself, with these extra passes that people are paying for where you get the...
No,
don't
because
think
at
she
the end
came
of the
from
day,
that.
he's right. At the end of the day, he's an entertainer. So this is people know that when they pay for his what is it? His
VIP service.
Yeah, his VIP access, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called, but his backstage, whatever, his meet and greet. There it is.
Oh, there
His meet and greet. When they pay for his meet and greet, they know exactly what they're getting. They're getting like a one-on-one interaction with him. So when you pay for that and you overdo it, like
he be overdoing it too, though.
I've actually seen it really happen. I mean, I can't have to use my discretion in saying it, but yes, it really happens when people are in that room and they're making up stories about the different people and how they've interacted with these people and how they're friends with them and their conversations. I've heard it, I've seen it, and
this
it can
girl's
be
probably
quite
a
crazy.
stalker.
Let me tell you, baby, one thing about me, I don't have a possible stalking bone or the time,
Well, who has time?
second in a day to
say you're gonna
Chris
do it.
Brown's
Thank
wife
you.
777
got
got plenty
time.
of time.
She
Okay,
got time.
Well, listen,
She
we
tried to
all
get 18
had
to
our
give us some
teen
more
crush,
time.
but I think she's stuck in like 14. She has to be stuck in some
Chris Brown's
moment
wife?
of time.
My God. Wow.
Well, she claims that the man is making music videos for her. His dancers are.
He ain't never heard of you, I'm sure.
I think oftentimes things like this we take way too lightly. And
that's
why
scary, though.
exactly that's why you see people breaking into these celebrities' houses
Right.
and showing
Yeah.
up all over the place. I mean,
I remember a while ago somebody jumped his gate. Oh, a few years ago somebody had jumped Chris Brown's gate. I think in LA.
And wasn't it I think one time Drake had came home a couple years ago and somebody was actually in
Yes,
the house.
yes,
a fan?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That is
Lord.
super scary.
Yes.
The minds
yes.
of people
Super
are
scary.
becoming quite depraved.
Listen, and I am telling you, there is no one on the face of this earth that I am that interested in.
Me either.
No.
I mean, like, who,
yeah.
why? For what?
When you know you're gonna get in
Has
trouble.
the
Okay,
time?
or you might get taken advantage of. You see what Shannon Sharp was doing to the girl.
Oh!
We have to take a quick commercial break coming up right
We
after
don't
this.
know
We have
that.
We're gonna wait with that.
Allegedly.
He said the tape getting ready to come out. Y'all don't play now. Stay tuned. You're watching POV.
It was consensual.
Hey y'all. So it's Thursday and I got a question. So what's a cheat code that you discovered that actually works in real life?
Prayer.
Okay.
That's not
Prayer.
a cheat code.
Prayer is the cheat code, baby. Submit your plans before the Lord, baby. Have that perfect posture, and you'll be all right. That is definitely a cheat code because they don't know it.
Decode.
This is the posture.
The decode.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Chris,
How to not pay so much on your taxes to Florida?
you found the cheat code of not paying taxes in Florida?
What is it?
Well,
Let
you
us
better
know.
give
Come
it
on
up.
now.
Okay.
Let us know. Put us on. Time running out.
What was it? The Trump cheat
talk to
code?
me
Don't pay
after the
taxes.
Oh Lord, you
That's
ain't
not
gonna
a cheat code I want to share with
Okay.
the world.
It was, It's the Trump cheat
Yeah.
code. Don't pay taxes. That's
Okay,
that
I
code.
found the cheat code to before
Don't
they
Trump.
stopped paying off student loans was to file Chapter 7. That no longer works.
No, that does not.
Okay. Well, it's not a cheat code no more, Crystal. If it don't work.
There's another way.
Okay.
She said
Talk
there's
to me
another
after.
way.
She can't share it with us right now. Raquel, what you got?
I don't have anything.
Okay, I do.
So
want
you're
to say
saying you
one
don't
more thing,
cheat?
though. You know what's so crazy?
Oh, I'm
though?
sure
I
I
feel
do
like
somewhere.
there are a lot of cheat codes that we discredit, and they come out, and whether it's on social media, whatever platform we get this news or information, and then oftentimes, I see since this is AFROTV, Black people so often are so caught up in something. Is it a scam? Is it a scam? No, it's a cheat code. If you
It's to
miss
help
it,
you.
the play gonna be dead, and you ain't gonna be able to get it. Come on now.
Exactly.
Hey, Crystal got it.
Okay.
So we need to get it.
Okay. Okay,
I'm
listen,
gonna give
y'all
it.
at home, if y'all have discovered a cheat code that actually works in real life, drop it down in our comments so we can, cheat too. But let's get back to the cheaters never win.
Welcome back. This is the part of the show where we talk about all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. Today we're getting into the topic of age gap dating, a topic that is no stranger to POV. But with everything going on in the news with Shannon Sharp and Tracee Ellis Ross, it's only right that we run this one back. It's one of those topics that always stir the pot, from public figures to everyday people. We've seen those couples where one partner is way older. Some say it's love, others say it's a red flag. But where do we draw the line? Is age really just a number, or does it come with baggage that we shouldn't ignore?
Y'all know what I always say. I feel like relationships are situational because what works for someone doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Absolutely.
So I feel like the age gap, while it can be disturbing if there's, you know, like a 30-year-old dating a teenager, that could be very disturbing. But also, like,
Oh, that is disturbing.
it could work for them and they might be together forever.
Dating a teenager?
I don't feel like that's a thing. I feel like
It was back in the day, though.
Called pedophilia.
we're not gonna go there.
Right,
We're just gonna
right.
leave.
Well, why can't we go there?
No, because that was the hot girl days. We're gonna go to the fact of
I'm talking about the grandma days, but yeah.
what?
Grandmas
yeah.
was hot girls too.
Yeah,
No.
my grandfather, I believe, was 18 years older than my grandmother.
Well, see,
Like,
that was
legit.
that was normal.
Yeah.
that was normal.
It's not normal no more.
No.
At what point did it not become normal?
Okay,
When women became
cougering
more
is
and
not
more
normal.
immature with every generation.
I feel that
People
cougering is
as
not
a
normal.
whole, we're not living on the class standard that we used to back in the day. Yeah.
No, they dated for.
What was the standard? That's just law.
Ladies and gentlemen, family, that is not
Right.
the
You
focus
think
now.
the
Maybe
men
we're
are
trying to get
gentlemen?
back
I feel
to
like
it.
the gentlemen are ladies
No,
now.
I'm talking about
trying
back
to
in
get
the
us
day.
back
I'm
to
talking about like my
That is true.
grandmother back in the day. Like it was all about family progression, working together, like really establishing something in life. That's not the focus now. We're getting back to it, but we spent so many years backing it up. The block was hot, baby. What you mean?
Well,
But that's what I meant when I said we're not going.
that when I do my TikTok lives, the guys say to date somebody younger. The other guys say date somebody older. It's really just, you know, there are a lot of discrepancies in the messages that I receive. I'm not sure what to do.
I don't
I feel like
want
it's
what
not
do you
about
do?
the
Me
age.
ever.
It's not
I
always
do.
about the age. It's about the level of what the people used to say, maturity.
Oh,
It's about the level of maturity because maturity does not come with age.
I just don't feel. I feel, and I'm going to use the word
it really
cougering. Cougering is not
Like cougaring.
cougering, where a woman, an older woman, is looking for a younger man. Traditionally, when you think about it in psychological terms, they're looking for someone younger because they are, one, not comfortable in their own skin, or two, you're trying to get your groove back and you can't see yourself being with someone your age that is going to allow you to do the things that you can do to a younger man.
Do we
No
feel
different
the
from a man
same
to a
way
woman.
about older men being with younger women?
Yes,
100%.
you want a
Okay.
younger woman because you know that younger woman is so naive. Every
You
little
can
thing
control
you
her.
do, oh my gosh, he's just so amazing. He's just this. But if you get a woman your
wake up.
age, that little half step that you're making is not a step.
Right.
And you know you're going to be required and held accountable to do things that you're supposed to do as a grown man.
And a lot of men don't like that.
No.
They don't like it at all.
They don't want to have to be held accountable to actually be a man.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that, you know, with us seeing what's going on, you know, the conversations of Shannon Sharp and Tracee Ellis Ross, you know, recently, to me, it low-key gives sexual perversion.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you know, Tracee Ellis Ross was saying that she wants a younger man because they're more sexually fluid and they do different things. And then
looking for a good time, not a long time.
Shannon Sharp was trying to bust out the little 18-year-old girl back door.
Literally.
We don't know that, Tally. We don't know that
Well,
yet.
when the story first came out, I'm going to be quite honest. I didn't even know the backside. The first thing I said was, "It's the girl from the video with the sound." I knew exactly who it was.
Wow.
I just knew it. And then at that point, I'm like, first of all, how dumb are you? You fall into this trap. You know you're a man of stature,
Child.
yet you go and do something like this with someone of that age. What did you think? She wanted you for love?
Didn't
And you know,
somebody
and
tell
you know
him
what?
though?
On top of that,
Didn't Monique tell him to stop messing with these young?
didn't
you said
Cat
he was
Williams tell
uncomfortable.
him?
told it.
Listen, Cat Williams told him
Stop
he
doing
don't
it.
mess with no young underage white woman because in 2 weekends they can ruin your whole life.
And guess what? You now offer this woman $10 million. Now she want 50.
50.
Oh, see, you
He offered her money.
They
$10
say he
million.
allegedly offered $10 million. She
Yeah.
said no. Now you want 50.
Oh, now
And now you're dropping
50, honey.
receipts. So then he's now dropping receipts. First of all, you're making videos with a child. Because if you were her age, how old would she be?
Shannon Shaw.
Any numbers? I didn't.
Okay,
I
she
didn't
wouldn't
think
even
so.
have been. 'cause
She
God,
wouldn't be able
God
to-
didn't even think about it at that point, baby.
Wow. Well, this isn't. This
Okie
doesn't
dokie.
sound good. That's all I got to
Lord,
say.
but for those, in age gap relationships, is
Truly
there ever a
disappointing.
moment when the relationship starts to feel like a performance to prove that it's legitimate? But I do follow, making me think of that question. I follow this young lady on Instagram. I cannot remember her name, but I know she was trending because of the black wife effect, and so she has an older white husband, and he's all gray, and they're really fit. She looks like she may be, and don't misquote me, girl, because I love you. Hopefully, if you're not this old, hey. But I think she may be about 35, 36-ish.
Okay.
He's got to at least be 67, 70. Yes, but she's saying that, she had a dusty, that's her word, she had a dusty baby daddy that tried to ruin her life, and she ended up raising their son on her own. And then she went to therapy to get healing from having to be like, masculine and tough and alpha all these years. And so now she's truly living in the soft wives club. That's her coin, community she coined or whatever. But I'm not gonna lie. Last night I was up. I was doing some work on the computer all night, and I went on a rabbit hole on her page for about 30 minutes. And I don't desire anyone's life. Don't get it twisted, baby.
Okay.
But listen, baby, that life was looking real soft.
Okay. Okay. He's taking care of his.
He's super taking care.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
But now it's time to move on to our final segment of the day. Let's get into unpopular opinion. Some of you may or may not agree, but today's unpopular opinion, according to news research, there's no state in the U.S. where working full-time on minimum wage is enough to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. None. Now, this leads to the question, is the system really built to help people succeed, or are we just set up to fail and struggle?
Well, I
Set
think
up
that's
to
an easy question. I mean, when you
Right.
lay it
Set up
out
to
like
fail
that,
and
it's
struggle.
the set up to struggle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's to keep the us versus the them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I remember a couple years ago, and I kind of talk about it often. And, maybe about 2 years ago, they kept saying, on the news and, all over, they're going to eliminate the middle class. And I think people took it so lightly. And now it is here. It is literally, and people are delusional to still think that they're in the middle class. But baby, if you're not rich, I want you to know you're poor.
You're definitely
Literally, and I'm like, man, even like, I remember, as we, climb these social ladders and we thrive to, have more for our children and give them a better future. I thought that we was like almost out of the middle class. And then I realized now I'm driving around to 3 grocery stores trying to save $1 on groceries. I must be broke. I'm like, the butter is less at Walmart and the eggs is less at Publix. By the time you don't wasted the gas trying to save $1.
Okay.
Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
I say that every day I come on here. Do we think, well, this is not even a question. We know that minimum wage should be raised to match the cost of
they
living.
know it should be.
And I'm so sick of this
not gonna
minimum
happen,
wage
though.
thing because they're always talking about what minimum wage is and people never get it.
Right.
No.
Right.
And every state's minimum wage is different, so it's never going to match.
Yeah.
I just feel like, remember when we talked about Trump giving these new moms $5,000?
Where?
What they was going to do with that?
No, why can't they just put that towards the minimum wage across the United States?
So you can get a what?
all of the
extra
money that you
10
were gonna
cent a
put
year?
into
a
that-
paycheck?
Huh?
Then you probably get about an extra 10 cents an hour.
No, like raise the minimum wage in every state to. I think once upon a time they did talk about raising it to $21
And
an
people
hour.
never got it.
No.
Or was that in New York?
Even 17.
can't remember.
That sounds like a northern,
Yeah,
northern
I can't
state.
remember
It would
if that
never
was in
be
New
in
York.
Florida.
That's
You
terrible.
know, they're always talking, but never really doing anything.
Yeah,
That's what
and
it
when they
comes
do
down to.
something, it's for
Or
something
when they
ridiculous.
do something, it's ridiculous. Or they
Yeah.
come back and take it.
Right.
That's how it usually works.
Right.
A lot of people, wonder as well, should businesses be held accountable for ensuring that their workers can afford basic living expenses? But when you think about that, for smaller businesses, what am I supposed to be? Like bankrupt?
No, where's the
Right.
funding coming from? The
Exactly.
funding
Right.
is coming from the
And let's
government
be
or
honest,
banks.
what they consider covering living expenses, a lot of people live outside of their means. So
That
what
too.
you call a living expense, which is this $1,400 apartment that just gives you valet trash, she might call a $500 bedroom that she's sharing her living expenses. So where's the meat?
Well, a lot of
And
these
how are we
people-
going to control that?
Yeah.
A lot of these people that are making policies and making these decisions, they're out of touch anyway.
100%.
They have no clue what's going on, and I don't think they even care. As long as they're getting their money from the Amazons, from the Apples, from the other countries that bring the money in, and they get their fair share, with, right off the top, I don't think they care at all. And I think they're proving that to us with the way they're carrying out things. They're making sure we understand that they don't care.
And I remember as well when I was 18, getting my first apartment, and I remember the rent was maybe like you can get a nice apartment for $650 at the time. $650, that was a sweet spot.
Listen, I had a 2-bedroom apartment.
Like hood for real. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like I'm watching my younger sisters grow up, and you can't get anything for less than $1,600, and they're not making the money. So it's a sad time. What a time to be alive. But that's a wrap for today's show. But before we head out, here's a quote of the day to carry with you by Denzel Washington. Don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Thanks for spending time with us. We'll catch you here tomorrow night, only on AfroTV. Good night.